The Post-Discard Battle, Part 1. Everything we do is regarded as a battle. It is a zero-sum game. What you lose, we gain. There may appear to be a win-win scenario during seduction, but it is not the case. Believe me, we are getting what we want. Positive fuel in huge quantities, and the repeated binding of you as we draw you closer and closer to us. You are made to feel like a queen, but you will be deposed and beheaded or defenestrated in due course. You always pay for the golden period we shower you with. We draw up our battle plans when we ready ourselves to seduce you. The greater of our kind adopt the approach that every battle is won before it is fought. The lesser of our kind remain effective, but they rely on being a blunt weapon, not possessing the intellectual finesse of us greaters. The lesser plans less and relies on the visceral, unknown, need for fuel to drive his battle strategy. His is all about reaction and immediate response, an automatic adjustment, which is invariably successful because he has been blessed with those tools, blunt as they may be. Our engagement with you is not love, it is a war. We conquer, overrun, and blitzkrieg you into submission. We occupy you so that your heart and mind fall to us within moments. This army of occupation does not stop there, as it raids the land it now resides in. Your resources become our resources, and we ensure that our supply lines are fed from your assets. The occupation eventually takes a savage turn through devaluation as we slash and burn, looking to grind you into the dirt before leaving you a stripped, bomb-blasted shell and setting off for a new campaign against some unsuspecting target. The theme of battle, and your entanglement with our kind, being a battleground, is one which is repeated throughout your engagement with us. This is especially so once the callous discard has taken place. It is then that you find yourself confronted with 3 battles, which take place one after the other. Not only do you have us as our foe, but in an especially unappealing turn of events, you find that in fact you are actually fighting against yourself. The first battle following discard is the emotional one. You have been left with no explanation. If one was tendered, it made no sense. You cannot reconcile where you are with what has been. The descent from gilded pillar into the dust has been swift and merciless. Every day you have run the gauntlet of scores of emotions which has drained you, eroded you, and taken a significant toll on your well-being. Your emotions are red raw, heightened and easy to trigger. Your pain is extensive, agonizing and brutal, and it is during this emotional battle that your ally of cool, detached thinking has not fled the battlefield, it never turned up to begin with. Your ability to assess, rationalize, and consider your position with the necessary critical analysis evades you. All you are left with is a cauldron of emotion which serves only to heighten your distress and your confusion. Nothing makes sense, and you have not been left in a position to make any sense of what has happened. This is entirely deliberate. I know many of you use the phrase hot mess. This is entirely apt. You are a mess. Your life is a mess. The heat comes from your raging emotions as you veer between hysteria and anger. Of the 3 battles that you fight post-discard, the emotional battle, the first, is the one which you invariably end up losing. This is because you are utterly ill-equipped. If you were an army, your troops would be sharing guns, you would not know which way to face, your supply lines have been overstretched and in some places broken, and the enemy seems to appear at will. The fog of war obscures your vision. Is that us advancing, or just the silhouette of a tree? You cannot tell. Once you could, but no longer. It is a tortuous place, and one which has been created through our design in order to ensure that when we return, and we will, you will be in no position to resist. Weakened, governed by emotion rather than intellect, you will be overrun easily. This is when the Hoover operates. This battle, where all you have is emotion, means that you want the pain to stop. You want the golden period again. You give no consideration or thought to what might be the price of such desires, or whether it really is the golden period once more. You are ruled by emotion, and this proves to be your downfall. We know this. And this is why we ensure that you are a churning, broiling, scorching crucible of emotion. We create it, we want that. This is why your first attempt at no contact, without the benefit of any specialist input, nearly always fails. You are not equipped to prolong it, because in this emotional battle, all it takes is for us to come galloping over the hill once again, offering terms of the golden period, and you surrender in an instant, allowing us to occupy your territory once more, in the understandable but ultimately forlorn hope of a peaceful coexistence. How do you win this emotional battle? You cannot. You are in such a position that we always win this first battle. The key, however, is not to participate in this battle, but rather avoid it altogether. If you know there is a battle you cannot win, why would you ever fight it? You would not. You would evade your foe, take steps to bolster your defenses, and seek to avoid this emotional battle. This is what you must do. Once you have gained awareness of the foe you are engaged with, possibly during seduction, or more likely through the period of devaluation, you must then take those steps to prepare yourself. You either avoid the emotional battle altogether by escaping rather than being discarded. Alternatively, you steel yourself for the inevitable discard so that the emotional fallout is massively reduced, and instead you find yourself transported to the second battle that takes place post-discard, which I shall expand on in a separate recording. If you have been discarded, then you face the emotional battle and you will lose. You must avoid this emotional battle in its entirety, or engage on terms in the second battle, which follows post-discard.